I'm a little bit tired, you know. I wanna home.
You're going to rest now. There's already a tweet gone out from you saying, maybe I fight Moses Itauma as well. Is that true?
I don't know. Listen, I don't know because now I wanna think what next.
Right, that would, you know, garner him, you know, and get him the experience he needs to compete with a Usyk, right? But right now is just not the time. I just think it's just too early, okay?
It's just looking at fights to kind of get me into that later round because I feel like with Usyk, I feel like I've got a better skill set than him, but I feel like towards the later rounds, he'll just outdo me because I've never been in that sort of fight.
Oleksandr Usyk reacted to Moses Itauma's bold challenge following his knockout victory. Usyk admitted that the young heavyweight has real potential, but emphasized that he wants some time off before deciding on his next step. He explained that he will carefully consider whether to take on Itauma or choose a different opponent.
I am with him right now. He's speaking with Joseph Parker.
This time I wanna rest.
You want to rest?
Yeah, I wanna rest.
Holiday. Congratulations, champ. You were absolutely incredible tonight. Did you enjoy that performance?
Yeah, I'm very happy. Listen, I'm very happy. I train hard. 3.5 months. I not look my family, my children. Now I'm a little bit tired, you know. I wanna home.
You're going to rest now. There's already a tweet gone out from you saying, maybe I fight Moses Itauma as well. Is that true?
I don't know. Listen, I don't know because now I wanna think what next. What next? Who my next opponent? Because now I have time and think about my career and the next fight.
You're loved in Ukraine, but I really do think you are loved by us here as well, and it showed tonight.
Thank you so much. I love UK people because it's a special fans, you know.
And you know, the final thing, people are now going to start talking about you as one of the greatest of all time. Does that mean something to you, to be one of the very greatest fighters and heavyweights of all time?
Thank you so much, bro.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor wrote on Twitter, Whyte took Oleksandr dive. There's no way that kid beats Usyk. His reaction fueled major debate as fans questioned if Moses Itauma's win over Dillian Whyte truly showed dominance. Taylor's words clearly expressed doubt about Itauma's chances against elite fighters like Usyk. In boxing, the idea of pairing generations always captures attention. Turkey Usyk has already shown interest in a Usyk versus Itauma matchup, calling it the ultimate showdown between an old lion and a young one. Usyk symbolizes years of knowledge, refined technique, and proven championship pedigree. On the other hand, Itauma represents youth, power, and ambition. The storyline excites fans because it asks whether youthful hunger can overpower wisdom and experience inside the ropes.
Turkey Usyk is demanding the Moses Itauma versus Oleksandr Usyk fight. That's the fight that he would like to make happen, as you guys just read in the caption. And let me counterpunch. I mean, that sounds good. You know, I think that Turkey is looking for someone to beat Usyk. And Moses' name is just the next name up, especially in his own personal interest. It's not Joseph Parker. I don't know what's the deal with Parker. I don't know why he doesn't like Parker. I mean, Parker to me is more like a Jon Snow, because I mean, he gets in battles and he gets scrapes and bleeds and abrasions and battle scars, but he ends up victorious at the end of the day, right? So that's what Joseph Parker reminds me of. But I think that it should be in order. It should be in order to fight. I don't think that a guy with 13 fights is or should be awarded that type of fight. Now, if the fight happened, it would be pretty good. Southpaw versus Southpaw, old lion versus, young lion. And I know Moses would jump on the opportunity if getting it, and he may get it. Depends on how bad does Turkey want it, because if Turkey really wants this fight, if he really, really wanted that fight, he's going to offer enough money for Usyk to go in there, because I think it's about Usyk, not Moses. You know what I mean? And also, something else you have to factor in is it's not all about what Turkey wants. It's also, and it should be, about what the sanctioning bodies demand.
Moses Itauma has been outspoken with his confidence, claiming that his skills surpass those of Usyk. This bold remark has stirred plenty of debate since Usyk is widely respected as one of the most complete boxers of his era. Famous for his movement, sharp punching, and ability to adapt to any style, Usyk has long been seen as a master craftsman. Yet Itauma, only 20 years old, believes his mix of speed, power, and calmness can top even a champion of that caliber. Some critics call it arrogance, while others view it as the mindset of a fearless new generation ready to challenge legends.
You must have a view of what level you're at now.
If you want my honest opinion, I think
I do.
If my skill set, if you're talking about my ring IQ and what I display in the ring, I feel like I am the best in the world, but I haven't displayed the later rounds. That's all what I kind of want to get ticked off. So my next opponent or opponents this year, we're just looking at fights to kind of get me into that later round, because I feel like with Usyk, I feel like I've got a better skill set than him, but I feel like towards the later rounds, he'll just outdo me, because I've never been in that sort of fight.
A number of analysts have voiced concern about pushing Moses Itauma directly into a bout with Oleksandr Usyk. Their central argument is that Usyk is a veteran of the sport who has dealt with every type of fighter. Having proven himself against some of the top heavyweights in the world, he carries a ring IQ that simply cannot be overlooked. By contrast, Moses is still just beginning his career.
Itauma can fight and beat the likes of Oleksandr Usyk, which everybody, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, is stating that he would love to make a fight with Usyk and Moses Itauma. That's the fight to be made. Me personally, I think it's too early in his career. At 20 years old, Usyk knows all the tricks of the trade. Usyk is very athletic. Okay, he's a southpaw. He's slick. He knows how to buy time. He knows how to control distance and range. He has an extremely high ring IQ. I think that's a step too far for Moses Itauma right now, right? But this is what Turkey want to see, and obviously Moses has a puncher's chance, okay? He has a puncher's chance to land a big punch on Oleksandr Usyk, he's bigger than him. Usyk is 6'3" with a 78-inch arm reach, so Moses is bigger than him, right? And he obviously has a puncher's chance.
Experts also point out that Moses' most recognized win came against Dillian Whyte, who by that time was seen as inactive and well past his prime. While the victory was impressive, they argue that beating a declining veteran does not warrant jumping straight into the ring with a generational talent like Usyk. They suggest it would be smarter for Moses to test himself against opponents closer to his own level of growth, such as Joseph Parker or other active contenders, before attempting the ultimate challenge.
Oleksandr Usyk, he's bigger than him. Usyk is 6'3" with a 78-inch arm reach. So Moses is bigger than him, right? And he obviously has a puncher's chance. But with that said, I just think that, that's a step too far. There's other names that I could see Moses Itauma fight. Fight the likes of Joseph Parker, right? Big Zhang, okay? There's names out there that he can fight, right, that would, garner him, and get him the experience he needs to compete with a Usyk, right? But right now is just not the time. I just think it's just too early, okay? I think that, we need to allow this young man to grow, right? And then, we talk about Usyk. The problem is Usyk is 39, 40 years of age.
Trainer Ben Davison has taken a slightly different view, calling the potential clash a rare opportunity for both fighters. Davison notes that Usyk has never shared the ring with Moses, and vice versa, which makes the matchup particularly intriguing. He explains that although Usyk is highly experienced, he has yet to face a young heavyweight who combines Moses' speed, power, and fearlessness. From Davison's perspective, such a bout would not only test Moses' resolve but could also catch Usyk off guard. Every champion eventually meets something unfamiliar, and Moses could be the unexpected challenge that pushes Usyk into uncomfortable territory.
I'm sure you would have seen the Ring magazine. They've put out a tweet tonight or an Instagram post saying that they've been informed that Turkey wants to see Usyk and Moses next. What do you think about that?
Let's see. You know, he's just had a big fight. I think, you know.
Is he ready for that in your opinion? Just your opinion. Is he ready for?
I think it's one of them fights where it's a win-win. The experience he'd gained from it, the opportunity to really, you know, if Usyk was to box Dillian Whyte, people wouldn't say it would be a one-round job before tonight had happened. And I think, what he'd learned from it, the opportunity, and as much as Moses hasn't been in there with somebody like Usyk hasn't been in there with someone like Moses either.
Derek Chisora has been direct in his advice, warning Moses Itauma against chasing a fight with Oleksandr Usyk right now. Chisora's reasoning is based on the belief that Moses is still very young, and targeting inactive or aging legends isn't the smartest path to building his career. Having battled many top names himself, Chisora understands the risks of stepping into major fights without enough preparation. He argues that Moses should instead focus on creating his own path by facing active contenders closer to his stage of development. While taking on inactive legends may generate headlines, Chisora insists it does not provide the kind of experience needed for a lasting and successful career.
Interview is going to go out after the fight. So let's say Dillian does get the win. Who do you want to see him with next?
Don't know. If Dillian wins it, I'll be taking out.
And what about Moses? What next for him? Is it Oleksandr Usyk?
Huh?
If Moses gets the win, what next? Is it Oleksandr Usyk or is that too soon?
To leave Usyk alone. Usyk's a beast, man. Different beast. Different beast.
Derek, what next for you? When are we going to see you next in the ring?
Right now, I'm going to go sit down on the ringside and enjoy the fight.
Joseph Parker has taken a more measured stance on the possible fight. He admits that a bout between Usyk and Moses Itauma is realistic, but stresses that it all depends on Usyk's schedule and decision. As one of the sport's reigning champions and a proven veteran of many wars, Usyk has earned the right to decide when and against whom he steps into the ring. Parker suggests that if Usyk chooses to face Moses, then negotiations will unfold naturally. Still, he stops short of fully endorsing the fight, pointing out that both sides must carefully weigh the timing and circumstances.
I am with Joseph Parker. Yeah, what did you make of that, Joseph?
Explosive and quick, faster than a lot of people thought. We thought it was going to be 3-4 rounds, and if it gets past that, it'll be a bit harder fight. But you know, one round, every fighter wants to come out and be explosive and knock out their opponent and go home and chill.
It's silly of me to say, do you want Moses next? Because really, you want Oleksandr Usyk, don't you?
Yeah, I want Usyk next. I know Usyk's deserves his time to relax and chill with his family. When he's ready, I'd love to open up negotiations and see if we can make the fight happen.
Does that extension clause with the sanctioning body give you more hope that it may well happen?
You just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen. There's an extension to buy more time to an injury, and hopefully, you know, when he does decide to come back, then we can negotiate, and if we can make it happen, it'll be awesome.
Listen, we love you, and you're all about you, and we want you to be a world champion again, and I think you will be. But just say a final word on what we've witnessed tonight in a 20-year-old who may be the coming force eventually.
Listen, he did a tremendous job. I'm just watching it now. I don't really see it properly, but he, power.
Promoter Frank Warren has voiced excitement about the prospect of Usyk versus Moses, but remains cautious about rushing it. Warren admits the fight is appealing and, if Turki Usyk, who has become central to hosting huge boxing events in Saudi Arabia, pushes for it, then serious talks could begin. However, he emphasizes that nothing has been arranged yet. Warren highlights that any decision will need agreement from all parties, including Usyk's camp, Moses' team, and event organizers. His approach is pragmatic, recognizing that while fans want to see the young star tested, the timing and setup must be carefully managed.
Right.
An exclusive for you is that the WBO about a month ago put out that Joe Parker, who's their interim champion, has to challenge against Usyk, and Usyk has to defend against him. He's put a letter into yesterday stating, so I found out today, stating that he's asked him for an extension period because he's injured before being ordered to do anything. But whatever happens, the fact of life is that Joe Parker will either fight as champion if Usyk vacates the title, or he will fight Usyk for the title. So it's exciting times. If Moses were to win, or even if Dillian wins, whoever wins that fight, they're in the one spot. And if the fight doesn't happen with Usyk and Joe, then Joe will have to fight the official #1 contender.
Gosh, so that should be really fascinating, shouldn't it? Thank you for that little bit of exclusive there. So are you just telling us there in that exclusive that Usyk's got an injury at the moment then? That's what he's coping with at the moment?
His camp have written to asked him for a period of time to before they have to defend the titles.
Eddie Hearn has praised Moses Itauma's recent performance while also showing sympathy for Dillian Whyte, who suffered a shocking knockout loss. Hearn noted that Whyte did at least secure a solid payday from the bout, but admitted the outcome was far from what most people expected. For Moses, the victory marked a turning point in his career, though Hearn believes it should be treated as a stepping stone rather than an immediate springboard into a fight with Usyk.
I don't know. You don't seem as impressed or sad?
No, of course impressed. Very impressed, but it's just a bit sad for Dillian. Like, he shouldn't really have been in there, if I'm honest, but what? You know that. You know that.
Well, Lee, what you've got to say?
That's not what I said first. No. No. Special kid, Moses. Of course he is, but I don't think, like, that was the worst matchup for him with no activity, and I felt like that was always going to happen.
Dillian Whyte's career, that would have looked similar to that stylistically.
He's brilliant. But I found it, knowing Dillian and everything, at 38 years old, I found it quite hard to watch.
I just have to ask, whilst he's there, the Warrington fight, are we going to see that next?
Yeah, we love the fight. I mean, the problem is with Lee Wood, fuck me, I gave him some money, Jesus Christ. And now, obviously, every fight has its value, I always say. And that's a big value fight, it's a great fight for both. Listen, it's the final roll of the dice for both, do you know what I mean? So for me, I'll be interested to see how it plays out. We're definitely interested in making it happen.
TalkSport analysts have been debating what the next step should be for Moses Itauma. They agree that a fight with Usyk would be a massive opportunity, but many suggest it might be smarter to match him first with Joseph Parker or other proven heavyweights. Their view is that while the victory over Dillian Whyte was impressive, it isn't enough evidence to show how Moses would perform against a living legend like Usyk.
We go with him now. It wouldn't surprise me if they put him in a world title fight in 2 fights' time.
Yeah, well, we're going to see what Oleksandr Usyk's been given this extension with the WBO title. Joseph Parker obviously is the interim champion. Parker may take another route. He's very well ranked in the WBC as well. You don't know, of all these moving parts. And like you say, the main man, Turki Al-Sheikh, the guy that puts the money up, he will decide what he wants to do there. But if that WBO title becomes vacant, don't be surprised that you do not see Joseph Parker fighting for that title, but you see a vacant title going in with Moses Itauma versus Filip Hrgovic. That's the fight I could see for the vacant title.
For all the patience that Moses showed tonight, for all the precision he showed to put Dillian Whyte away, we still don't know what's going to happen when he's in the trenches, do we?
It's always the case, isn't it? Whenever you get a fantastic young talent coming through. I remember they said it's about Naz all those years.
And Bruno.
The list goes on. It's a long one. And there will be somebody somewhere who can take the shots and who will put it on him. And then the questions will be asked, and it's whether or not he's got the answers. There'll be people out there. Somebody will do it.
Despite the uncertainty and debate, one thing is certain: Moses Itauma has displayed remarkable potential for someone so young. His triumph over Dillian Whyte was about more than just the knockout. It was the way he carried himself throughout the fight. His quickness, composure, and ability to capitalize on openings all stood out, marking him as one of the most exciting rising stars in the heavyweight division. At only 20 years old, he has already created a buzz around his name. Both fans and experts are eager to see where his career goes, praising his raw ability and fearless confidence. Whether he faces Usyk soon or chooses a more gradual climb, Moses Itauma has already announced himself as a future powerhouse in the division.
In the world. Oh my goodness. I mean, let's be honest, we all expected Moses to win, but not in 2 minutes. The man annihilated Dillian Whyte in 2 minutes, and the man, listen. Let me give you the truth about Moses Itauma. This is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Speed kills. And Moses Itauma is one of the fastest heavyweights I have ever seen in my life. Is he faster than Mike Tyson? Of course not. But for this generation and this era, he is the fastest and youngest heavyweight that we have in our generation. Now Moses Itauma, oh my God, southpaw, deadly puncher, lightning quick, intelligent, smart, cerebral at just 20 years old, ladies and gentlemen. That is crazy. And even if you think about it, the man has been dangerous. I mean, he just knocked out Dillian Whyte a few minutes ago.
That wraps up today's video. Don't forget to stay tuned for the next update.